Gotta rank 'em all, Pokemon.
Welcome to Gotta Rank 'em All, the Pokemon ranking show, where Chris
That's me.
and myself every week get a guest and a random list of 10 Pokemon and put them in the most officially arbitrary list of all time. Lovely returning guest this week, who also brought along some professional dancers for this recording, is very fantastic for him. Chris Logan.
Hey, thanks for having me back. Yeah, I got my hype crew behind me to rank these mon, and excited to jump in.
This is definitely one to come at least peek the video version, everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody look at that.
It's crazy how well that works. I love the technology's great. Well, how have you been, man? It's been a little while since we've had you on.
Technology is great. It was made for this purpose. So much technology is coming together to make this twerking happen on everyone's screen right now. But, I've been good, man. I've been busy, life stuff and podcast going on, but happy to make time to come back. Thanks so much for the invite to return.
Of course, yeah, absolutely. Have you started, or are you going to be picking up Scarlet Violet at all?
Oh, it's likely that my daughter will get it for Christmas, and that'll be. I will see her play it some. I might pick it up some. It's been, as I've said on previous appearances, it's been a long time since I've played a Pokemon game like beginning to end, but I dabble occasionally.
Yeah. Honestly, Scarlet Violet is a good one to dabble from your daughter's hands because, like, it's just so open world. You could pick it up, go explore for 20 minutes, hand it back, and you haven't disrupted what she was doing at all or anything like that. Yeah.
I heard a lot of similar things about Arceus, however you say it, but that's a good one. Like, I haven't played in a while. Try this out. It's a little different. I might bring you back the open world stuff, and I am interested in it, but as of this recording, I still have not picked it up. But my daughter liked it a lot, so.
Also a very good time. We're big fans of that Legends Arceus around here on this podcast.
Yep. Still my favorite Pokemon game. I think I like it more than Scarlet and Violet. I'm not quite done with Scarlet Violet yet, though.
Yeah, I'm only about halfway with Scarlet and Violet, but I think I'd still put Legends Arceus above it. Although I hear the end stuff of Scarlet Violet is very good. All right, well, let's do a little bit of a list refresher, and then we'll start talking about fitting even more Pokemon onto this list. Top of the board, 1, 2, and 3, Greninja, Gia, and Shuckle.
How do you say this with a straight face?
It was hard the first few weeks when this happened forever ago on this podcast. It's just, oh God. It's just become reality, unfortunately, at this point. Way down at the bottom, 1007 Jinx, 1006 Crabominable, 1005 Gumshoes, which puts the halfway at 503 and a half, but we'll round down. 503 is Gigantamax EV, followed by Gigantamax Centiskorch at 504 and Rhyhorn at 505. Quilladin's pretty close, Chris.
Yeah.
497, 6 slots away.
Nice. Yeah, he'll be there by the end, maybe. There's a lot left to rank. If you've not played Scarlet and Violet, maybe you don't realize they added a lot. There's probably at least 100 new ones, I would say.
Yeah. Wow. There's going to be a good chunk of new Pokemon to rank here soon. And we're closing in on the end of everything before Scarlet and Violet.
Yeah.
So there's...
It's about to be a Scarlet and Violet show.
Yeah. Yeah, and we should say at the top, Ryan and I have been playing a lot of Scarlet and Violet. We're not going to talk much about our impressions right now, but we will have a full spoiler cast once we finish.
Yeah, because I'm roughly halfway done with the game. I want to have my impressions complete before we go crazy. I'm enjoying my time so far, though. It's janky. I'm not. Those are not lies. It is janky, but it's still fun.
Yeah, the game has a big memory leak problem. So if you are experiencing serious issues, like the kind that you've seen weird GIFs of on Twitter, just turn your game off, close it out, and start it, and fix those really bad ones. It's still going to be framey. Still not well optimized, but...
So I'm not super plugged in to the news that you guys are talking about, but we're talking janky, more than the usual Game Freak jank.
It's
beyond that.
If you're restarting your game, every time I save, I don't put my Switch to sleep. I just close the game because I heard about that memory leak. But if you let that memory leak go, some of those GIFs are oof.
Yeah, it gets
Like-
way beyond the normal Game Freak stuff, and even without like leaving the game on, you will see like when you catch Pokemon, sometimes the camera will clip through the ground, and you see like that weird, the weird stuff you see when a camera clips through the ground. It'll look like that for a little while, and that happens pretty commonly. Just because you're able to catch Pokemon on any terrain, it's not like it's taking you into like this preset arena like it is in other games.
Yeah. And the problem happens when you're at an elevation, right? So if you're in a fight like this and the camera wants to come behind, then it comes behind the ground and underneath it and just clips right through. So it's and you get some frame rate issues. Like there's large windmill towers, and you can be standing on one and the windmill will be like a pretty smooth 30, and then the one directly next to you is like 3 frames per second. And then the one further down's just stopped.
All right.
So but even aside from all that, it's been a good time so far. I've really been enjoying myself. The new Pokemon feel or look good, and it's been fun to run around. And our number 100 bouncer, back to the topic, is Gliscor. Hanging in strong.
Holding it down. Top 100.
It's a tight list. Tyranitar at 98. That hurts a little bit to see.
Gonna get bumped soon.
Well, let's see if anyone tonight is gonna bump into the club. Might be tough tonight. Our first.
It sounds like you're trying to be real hip. Like, you guys want to go bump into the club tonight?
Oh, that's what the kids say.
That's how it goes. Yeah. Let's get Orbeetle bumped in. It's.
So Ryan, you love Orbeetle. I would hear your arguments because I think he's fine.
Very useful Pokemon. I loved using it in Sword and Shield. A very effective Pokemon in combat. Defensive on the it's more on the defensive end, but still hits pretty strong with just a solid design. I mean, UFO Ladybug. The face is really good. I'm a fan.
I really dig this design. I like bug types in general. I think there's a lot of cool bug type designs and so much variety in the bug type. Like, notoriously everybody hates birds, right? Because they all just look like birds. Dragon types love dragons, hate dragons. But like, in the world of bug type, you can get so much variety. And this, it's crazy. Like this point in the game, the Pokemon game, that they're still coming up with unique stuff that is still based on a bug. Like nothing looks like this guy. I have some questions about his abilities and stuff because I'm not familiar with a lot of stuff past the first couple gens. If it's not in early days of Pokemon Go, if it's not in Pokemon Snap, I probably haven't seen it before. And this guy falls in that category. I'm looking at these eyes. This hypnotic type eyes. Is that a feed into his ability or what he does? Is he psychic type? What's going on?
He is bug psychic. Yep.
And red, is that a mustache underneath his eyes? That's how I'm seeing it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that would be the mustache because the black line, bugs don't really have lips, right? So the black line would just be where the mouth opens. So I guess that'd be mustache, upper lip.
I like the design a lot. I like it. The white kind of makes almost like a skull design on his face. I like those eyebrows that look like hands of a clock. Kind of feeding into the hypnotic eyes. Really cool bug type.
Yeah, and his shoes look like Jin or Genie kind of shoes. Also a very psychic thing.
Yeah, it's a good call out. Yeah, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of this guy. I don't know top 100 fan, but
do you like him
half at least?
Do you like him more than his Gigantamax?
No, that Gigantamax form is. They just turned it into an actual UFO, Chris. It's really good.
That does sound cool. Gigantamax forms are funny because, looking at your list, there's some really high ranked, and there's some that are at the bottom of the list. That is such a hit or miss design for the Pokemon.
Yeah, because it's really easy to overdo it. It's so easy to go a step too far and ruin an otherwise good design.
Yeah, same thing with Megas. If you just add too much, it becomes I don't know. It's too busy. It's too hard to look at.
Yeah.
Or you just make your Pokemon like a giant apple pie.
Yeah, that was that was one of my past episodes. That was horrible. Um,
So we
I
have
think it talked about like the
Gigantamax.
smell, like in its Pokedex entry.
Oh yeah,
That
yeah,
one
yeah.
left me scarred.
So Gigantamax Orbeetle is at 176.
Okay,
I
that
think
sounds
I agree
about
below
right.
that.
What's a bug below that, and see if he's better than that bug. It's a good bug type we can compare him to.
Let's see here.
Or the
I know it's down a little bit, but we've got Heracross at 336. I probably skipped over a bug somewhere in the middle there, though.
Mega Pinsir at
yeah,
208.
Mega Pinsir 208. Which that one looks. That's the one that looks kind of metallic, right?
It's been a minute since I've seen Mega Pinsir.
Yeah, it's like a metallic version of.
Yeah, the wings come out. That is good.
Yeah, I think below
That's good.
that. I could go above Heracross though.
I could go above Heracross.
Where's Heracross at?
336.
Oh man, y'all are way down there. This guy is cool. This guy is cool.
He jumped.
Wait,
Ryan jumped, but we're establishing a range. It's fine.
All right, so like Mega Pinsir, he's got the wings. He looks pretty rad. Shortly below him, there's Pichu. I'm not a fan of. Even Jigglypuff. I mean, I know she's got her fans, but I'm not a huge fan of. Gigantamax Butterfree, Sableye. Hot take, kind of sucks. I like this guy more than Sableye, but I'm looking at pretty close to right below Mega Pinsir. I don't know how you guys feel.
I do like Pichu and Jigglypuff. I can definitely go above Meloetta. I feel like that's one that we just ranked early on and it has been stuck there and we have not talked about again a long time.
Let's push him down. Let's get him out of here.
Right?
I agree. I could go above Meloetta. I could go above Shaman Frostlass. I see Berserker and I hem and haw a little bit at 217. I see Aegislash and Sinistea at like the 230 mark, and I go, So there's like, this is the right range, and I could go as high as right up there, right near Mega Pinsir, but there's other things I look around and I'm like, I don't know that I
thought above Sableye. Sableye is just like an imp with a weird eye. Like, there's nothing cool about that guy.
It's the typing thing. For like Sableye was kind of invincible for a while because there was nothing that was super effective against it until Fairy got introduced.
Yes, and also he I think it's Carbink that he like straight up eats, and Carbink's stupid, so that's good.
Because it eats gems, that's right. Yeah. Carbink is just like a diamond Pokemon.
Well, I like this range, but I'm going to defer to you for the exact spot because you guys have a lot more familiarity with some of the Pokemon in this area. So I'm just going to sip my eggnog and let the...
An eggnog man, I like it. Ryan, are you an eggnog man?
I'm gentle with eggnog. It makes me break out in hives for some reasons. I can have like small glasses at a time, but if I have a large glass, I get an allergic reaction.
Any kind of eggnog? What is it in the eggnog?
We're not sure because I can have all the I've had like everything in eggnog separately and not have an issue.
Nutmeg, eggs, is all good?
Yep, yeah. But like I've had eggnog from never homemade, but like several different pre-made eggnogs, and all of them, if I have like, I don't know, probably more than like an 8-ounce serving, I just start to like my arms start to break out in hives.
Wow.
Weird.
Worth it though.
Oh yeah, it's so good.
So I think it should be above Scavalier as well, looking at maybe our lowest end. That is also a good bug.
Yeah. I could go. I know as soon as I said Sinistea, Chris, you were like, that Sinistea.
Thanky.
And I could go right underneath Sinistea above Zacian.
I like that.
Yeah. All right. A new 232 Orbeetle. Really solid. Okay, so I think we can understand where the English name comes from for Orbeetle.
Orb beetle.
Is it like Orb? Isn't it Orbeez? It's like a brand of gum, and then it's turtle.
Definitely a ladybug, though, right?
Yeah.
I guess the ladybug's a type of beetle. It's got a shell.
Hmm?
I don't know my bugs.
Well, I guess technically lady beetle. They're not. Ladybug is like, I guess the colloquial term. Lady beetles is I guess more acceptable term.
Is that
I'm
really
just
what
learning
people
this
call
now.
them?
That's one on this Bulbapedia article. It says orb, orbit, orbital, and lady beetle, and it lists. They are commonly known as ladybugs in North America and ladybirds in Great Britain. Some entomologists prefer the name ladybird beetles or lady beetles, as they are not true bugs.
They're not bugs?
What does that mean?
Oh, beetles aren't bugs?
They're not true bugs, which is like the family of insects.
Dude, real bugs and species are so stupid. Like, just give them Pokemon's got it right. It's one or two types, and that's all you need. Move on.
Yeah. I've never thought about like bugs as like, what is the definition of a bug? It's like they're all bugs. Even spiders, I know they're arachnids, but I call them bugs.
Spiders a bug. Yeah, yep. I agree.
It's a bug.
I agree.
The Japanese name is Eolb, E-O-L-B. Eolb, Elob. I don't know how to pronounce that in American.
End of life beetle.
Which may be a combination of Eol, which is Irish for knowledge, or Io, the moon of Jupiter, or wait, is that supposed to be an I and not an L? I have a lot more questions. Let's move on. We've got more Pokemon to rank. That's a weird name. Next up, we've got, oh boy, Hisuian Samurott.
Why?
Okay.
Here's the thing. Here's what's wrong with this. This is actually, it is technically slightly better than Samurott. I like the colors more. I like the kind of, I don't know, curvature of the horns and stuff. But they fucked up Samurott the first time. They did him wrong. He should have been bipedal with a freaking sword. And then they took a second chance at him, and he looks almost exactly the effing same. That's my problem with this thing, and I hate it.
So Samurott's playing from like Samurai?
So this is the final form of the Gen 5 water starter. The first two forms, it's a bipedal otter that uses scallop shells as like sword slashing weapons, right? Mm-hmm. And then you hear the name Samurott and you're like, oh, samurai otter. That's going to be awesome. Its first two forms are bipedal. It's going to have this really cool shell sword. And they decide to put it on all fours after being a two-legged creature for the previous two.
Yeah, that's not good. So like the horn is it's
that's the sword.
It looks nothing like a samurai sword. I like the idea that they're like, well, you know, it's a Pokemon. It can't look too much like a human samurai. But meanwhile, Mr. Mime's out here scarring children looking just like a stupid mime. Just make him a samurai.
Also,
So if I could play a little bit of devil's advocate though, knowing what you guys are telling me and what it evolves from samurai, like you're right, I don't see a samurai design of this, but shutting all that out, just looking at this design of a Pokemon, I think it's kind of cool. I get the problems you're saying with it, but I like the colors a lot. I like the red design on the purple. Big fan of facial hair in Pokemon, if it's not clear already, but I like the big wispy mustache and beard. A very cool tail. It's working for me, other than the issues we've talked about. Just visually, I think it's pretty cool.
Yes.
Yeah, certainly the color palette's better than the original. The black and red armor in the original is just gold, and instead of being like a curved bent sword, it's a straight sword. The tail does look better now that you pointed out. I didn't even really notice that, but I think that is a better design than the OG tail. And you know, the facial hair is more whimsical. It's
yeah. The original, I'm looking at a picture of the original, and it looks too. It's a water Pokemon, I get it, but it looks like too aquatic, too much like shellfish. Where I think that's played down a little bit with this one.
Yeah, and I do think that one being closer to the ground kind of hurts it too. At least in the art, it looks closer to the ground. This one looks kind of taller, and there's more curvature to even like the facial hair. I like this a lot better than the base design. And Ryan, I don't know if it says in the Pokedex entries for this one, but I think for the original Samurott, it says like these in the front, like the top rung of his feet or whatever, is like basically a blade that he can pull out, and that's just like a sheath down here.
Pull out with what?
Yeah, I mean, I
Part of
guess he would
the-
have to stand up on his hind legs to do that, though. So I don't.
It's never been depicted that way, I assume.
I've never seen it that way.
Yeah, me either.
That would give it a lot of points if it could do that.
Yeah, it says in white, part of the armor on its anterior legs becomes a giant sword.
I want to see this giant sword.
Yeah, I would love to see that.
Yeah, me too. But we
Wait a
don't get to
minute.
be
Wait
happy.
a minute.
Find it?
Hopefully, I'm not looking at fan art or something, and hopefully, you can see this.
From Pokemon
Maybe
Go,
you
it's
should
blending
just-
into your background.
Maybe-
We just see Pikachu twerking.
This is the trick to get you to look
okay.
at my twerking
Okay.
some more. So I'm looking at a screenshot. Looks like it's from Pokemon Go, where he's still on all fours, well on 3, but it has pulled the sword from the armor. And yeah, there's a few other screenshots of them doing that. That's pretty cool.
That is cool. That sword is way too big to fit in that sheath, by the way. But I dig it anyway.
Yeah, it's you can find a picture that looks like that repeatably. I don't think there's definitely a lot of fan art of it.
Yeah, give us what we want. So you guys have the original regular Samurott at 652. I think it's safe to say this is going above that. We all agree it's better than the original.
Yeah.
I'd probably go at least maybe even like a couple hundred above. Does it go in the top half? I don't know.
Does this get at least above Quilladin to help make that mark happen?
Y'all are harsh on Togepi. Togepi's at 544.
Yeah, I think that's one we ranked a long time ago and has just been shuffled around.
Yeah.
I like how the Porygons have stayed together.
Except Z. We just ranked Z
Except for
last
Z.
week.
Yeah.
You know what? Now that I think about it, I like this guy more than Porygon 2, but not as much as the original Porygon.
Wow. What up the crew?
Okay.
Just use that blade just to slice those two in half.
Okay. Me personally, I like it more than Tentacruel. I like it more than Grimer. I like it more than Ghastly.
More than Ghastly. Ghastly's I know we're not talking about Ghastly, but what's kind of cool about Ghastly is how much the design has unintentionally changed over time. Because I believe the idea is just that it's literally a ball of gas, almost imperceptible because it's gas. But like you have to depict that in the old Game Boy, so they got like this pixelated, and then eventually now he's like a solid ball with gas around him. Sometimes, so it's like this changing design. But the idea of a Pokemon that is just made up of gas, that I think is pretty cool. That's not always how it's depicted.
Yeah, it's a fact we haven't brought up in a very long time on this podcast, but he got low because in his Pokedex entries it said he can be blown away, just like blown away by a gust of wind because it's initially just supposed to be a ball of gas. And we're like, so a fart can defeat a Ghastly? Like, what is?
No, it is. What's scary about that is it can be blown away, but it can also be blown to you. It can also come in with the wind unexpectedly.
That's a fair point.
Much like a fart that you don't see coming. Imagine like whenever someone farts across the room and you walk through it and you get hit with it. Oh God, you get hit with it. Imagine though that's a Ghastly though. Imagine that's a potentially deadly Pokemon, spirit Pokemon. Think about it in a different way now, don't you?
That's what life would be.
We're re-ranking Ghastly next time I come on the show.
Ryan, where are you looking?
Butterfree is at 532. I'm not a Butterfree fan. I like this guy more than Butterfree.
Yeah, I can go above Butterfree. I can go above Ice. I think I want to get above Quilladin. Maybe below Beartic.
Okay. I think I like that. below Corfish, below Galarian Weezing's really good. Electros, what's he doing up here?
Who let you out?
Okay, below Beartic, let's do it.
Let's do it. A new 496. Perfect. I think we get where Samurott comes from. The Japanese name is Daikenki.
Viking.
Dai, great. Ken, sword. Ki, demon. And Kenki, devilish swordsman.
Dai, kinky.
All right.
My kind of fish. All right. Next up, we've got Alolan Golem.
There's some more of that facial hair.
Yeah, look at that mustache. Big old Eugene Levy eyebrows. Big old beard on the bottom there. I'm digging it.
Yeah, I like this more than normal Golem for sure.
The little bits of gold go a long way to like. It fits so organically, having little bits of gold embedded in the rock, but it also looks just nice and flashy. Really cool.
I think it's organic because there's something like Italian dad about Alolan Golem. And, you know, they've always got a gold chain.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, this Pokemon is electric and rock or electric and ground? I think electric rock.
electric and rock, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Which is cool typing. I mean, you're already weak to ground, so why not get weird with it?
Yeah, so are there any entries, Pokedex entries for this specific version of Golem? Like,
Yeah.
what is the thing on top of it? What is that?
It fires rocks charged with electricity. Even if the rock isn't fired that accurately, just grazing an opponent will cause numbness and fainting. So is that like a rail gun? Like he loads a rock in and it uses magnetism to accelerate and fire off rocks tinged with electricity. Yeah, this is a railgun Pokemon.
Pretty cool.
So regular Golem is at 751.
Yeah.
Pretty low. I think we all agree this guy's like a big improvement. I mean, every single thing they've added to him, I think, is an improvement. The things on his back, the facial hair, the design, the gold, all of those are making this guy better.
Yeah, and none of it's going overboard to push it into that too much territory.
It all fits. It all felt like if originally Golem looked like this, we'd be like, yeah, that makes sense for a third evolution.
That's Golem, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, I think top half.
Top half.
Yeah. I mean, I'm for sure there. This doesn't have to be our stopping point. It's the first thing that stuck out. Vikavolt at 420. Another electric type with that, like, kind of, it's got the bug jaws that are kind of coming up in that railgun formation.
I really hope a plant type ends up at 420 by the end of this list. Maybe Oddish would be good there. He's got a good leafy look to him.
We might have to force it, but
Swinub at 396. I like this guy more than Swinub. Don't know how you feel about that.
Yeah, I can put this up. Swinub. Yep.
I think it's a more interesting design than Manectric 394.
I'm with it.
All right, Turtwig at 379 is the first one that gives me pause. I'm a big Turtwig fan. You're comparing cute factor versus cool factor, which is tough, kind of apples to oranges, but I think Turtwig's cuteness outweighs this guy's coolness.
I'm okay with that. I like Turtwig.
Grookey I'm not a fan of, so unless one of you want to fight for Grookey,
well,
I like this guy.
Ryan hates Grookey, so we can just stop talking
Not a
about
fan.
it. I would probably go below Grookey too. But...
Alolan Golem, 380. Great work. One of the few Pokemon when I tried to, I guess I could have put in Alolan and I would have been able to find it more readily, but that doesn't tend to bring up Bulbapedia. So I just typed in Golem and Bulbapedia was not near the top of my search results.
No.
But I didn't have to get to page 2, if that tells you anything about my search history and algorithm.
Do you think whenever the Pokemon came out with Golurk, they regretted calling this guy Golem? Because he doesn't really look like a golem. He's just made of rock. But like they have much more or Golett, I guess would be the first version of the one that's actually a golem, but they can't call him that.
Because they already have one. Yeah, maybe kicking themselves in the butt.
Maybe. I think Golurk's just a better name though, because he's also a ghost. He lurks in the shadow.
Yeah. Yeah, it does work. All right. Well, next up we've got Roselia.
Well, you don't want to talk about Golem's name origins?
I mean, it was
He's a golem. No, we get it.
He's a golem.
This is cool. Are shinies included in the discussion? Those aren't separate, right?
Feel free. We don't have to be brought up. This is one I was going to bring up because I think this is. I really, really love the shiny version of this Pokemon. Purple and black roses as opposed to red and blue are just a really great choice.
One of my favorite shinies, hands down. Very cool. I like it, man. As far as plant Pokemon go, yeah, it's as cool as you can make a rose type Pokemon. I like the use of colors. I like the red and blue of the original, but the shiny is just, I don't know, it takes it to the top. That black rose is just so rad. But I like the thorny hair, again, with the rose theme. It's cool. It's good stuff.
Yeah, and you say as cool as they can make a rose Pokemon, but its evolution Roserade, I think, is cooler, but I'm not sure if its shiny has the same.
Let me see.
It does.
Oh yeah, Roserade gets the that white hair. I don't know, the white. Okay, I
can see an
respect your
argument
opinion.
either way,
I like the
but-
white hair more, but I prefer the thorns. But
I think for me, it's the flower design. I like Roselia's more accurately drawn flower petal hands as opposed to the kind of like tri-bouquet hands that Roserade has.
well, you guys have Roserade at 124. One of us likes Roserade more. Two of us like this girl more.
Roserade's that high?
Liking where this is going. Yeah, I think my brother might have been on for that one. Roserade. I like Roserade.
I mean, I don't have anything against, like, I still like Roserade too.
Right below Roserade is Ditto, which I love Ditto. Ditto's amazing because like if Ditto was at number 1 on your list, like yeah, that makes sense. If it was like last on your list, like yeah, that makes sense. Like, Ditto can kind of fit everywhere. But I'm a big fan of Ditto only because, not only, but a big reason is because when it transforms other Pokemon and keeps those derpy eyes, always hilarious. Big fan of Ditto. So I think I like Ditto more, but also like this one more than Roserade. So I think we're in the ballpark.
Welcome to the conundrum of the list, Chris.
I know. Every time.
Hey, Ryan, you know what number Ditto is in the Pokedex?
125?
No, it's 132. We can have him there at the end of the show, man. We can do it.
Ooh.
We could do it. That was something Travis brought up a few episodes ago. It was like, at the very end, what Pokemon are going to be at their Pokedex number? Like, that would
Which
be
Pokedex number is like the most accurate? Which one do you feel like, yes, that actually deserves to be on the rank?
Oh.
Not that
That's
you
a
should
good
have it.
question. Maybe Ditto.
maybe Ditto.
Charmander is obviously very high in the Pokedex, and he's my guy, so I would feel happy. I know he's already dropped below where he is in the Pokedex, but like for me personally, he's also one of the best designed and early Pokedex number.
Or EV is probably. I think they're like 90 something, 100 maybe.
Yeah,
For their Pokedex number, I think 60 something.
Yeah. Rapidash is actually really close because when Travis brought that number up, Rapidash happened to be at their Pokedex number, which was like 78. I think they've dropped one since then.
Anyways, we were talking about Roselia.
Yeah, Roselia.
Also, I like the name. I like the name Roselia more than Roserade. Just to throw that out there. I feel like above Roserade, even though two of us like it more than Roserade, is kind of pushing it because it's pretty high on the list, but I don't want to drop it too much. I can see it going above for me. Wooper above Houndoom. Squirtle's pretty cool though. That's tough, but Snubble at 141, I like it more than Snubble, so I really don't want to drop it for me too much from where we're at. But if you guys have an idea for an exact placement,
I like it right below Squirtle.
Yeah, I was gonna say between Squirtle and Houndoom.
that's good.
Gotta love our Squirty Turtley boy. And 135 for Roselia is fantastic spot. Any guesses where Roselia comes from?
Rose, not the flower though. For some reason, it's Kate Winslet from Titanic.
Mm-hmm, of course.
And Leah is the last name of that character everybody knows. Rosalia.
Rosalia.
Long, very distant descendant of Princess Leia. They just pronounce it a little bit differently as you go through the galaxy.
Is it Rosalia? Roselia? Is there do we have a definitive way to say this?
I think it's Rosalia.
Yeah, I've always said Roselia.
Rosalia.
But so Rose, Azalea, and God, I'm probably gonna Camellia?
Chamomile. I don't know.
It's another flower. It's all flowers. All right, 135, Roselia. Next up, we've got one of those birds we were talking about, everybody. We got a bird.
We got a bird.
Quello.
It is so hard for bird designs to stand out in Pokemon. They just most of the time they just If this was like a real bird, I wouldn't be like, "Wow, that's a crazy looking bird." I'm like, "Yeah, okay, that's another bird," and that's not a good sign for Pokemon. To me, it's just a huge. I feel like it's such a tired arc. Everybody complains about the birds, but they're just not exciting to me.
I mean, the problem is that for a lot of gens, and they've mostly stopped at this point, but for a lot of gens, they always made a normal flying bird, which is like, it's going to look generic because it's a normal flying bird. The last few gens, they've gone with like, the last gen, for example, they have like a thunder flying bird that looks quite a bit better, quite a bit more interesting, I'd say. But yeah, this is another normal flying bird. I do like this bird a lot because I use it a lot. And I associate it with a couple of moves that I believe it learns in its natural move pool. And it's the first gen that had these moves, which is a Facade, which deals extra damage if you have a status condition. Deals like 110 damage, I think, if you have a status condition. Crazy. And then Endeavor, which I remember using a lot with the, Focus Sash that keeps you at 1 health. And then you use Endeavor, and that brings them down to your exact health amount. And then you use Quick Attack, and you win every fight.
So usefulness in battle is a lot of points there, but that seems like the only place this is going to get any points.
Yeah, and there are a lot of Pokemon that can do those same things, especially at this point.
I'm thinking bottom half of list, but what do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, not necessarily buried, but yeah, I don't think this. I mean, it's a fine. Do we have any like final stage birds in the top half?
Staraptor at 268.
That's a really solid bird. That one actually does, like, design-wise stand out a little bit and is useful, uniquely useful in combat as opposed to just kind of generically useful.
What do you mean uniquely useful? Like in what way?
Is crazy high attack stat compared to like any other bird. Like if you want one of those early birds, it's Staraptor because doesn't that have the highest attack stat of any of those starter birds?
Maybe. I wouldn't say having a high attack stat makes you uniquely useful. There's a million Pokemon with high attack
compared to the other
a very specific moveset that I just talked about, that probably Staraptor can get to, but
here's where my eye is being drawn now. I'm looking at, like I said, bottom half, but I agree. I mean, not buried. This thing isn't an atrocity. It's just not very exciting. Pokemon I feel very similarly about is at 596 Granbull, which is just a pretty basic design. It's just based on a real life thing. A lot of similarities to how birds just based on real life thing. So that's the area I'm looking at. 596, high 500s, maybe even low 600s. If Do you guys see anything around there that's sticking out to you that maybe like more than this, less than this?
I'd like to stay below Crobat at 601.
You like Crobat? Yeah, Crobat's. I like Crobat more than this guy.
I'm a Crobat stan. I don't see anything else that really. I mean, I know Palkia's right there, but we're not necessarily huge Palkia.
What about one above or one below Dewdong at 620? I have similar complaints about Dewdong.
Yeah, that's a solid call out. Is like, yeah, this is just an animal. Basically, you've just put into Pokemon. Yeah, I could go right there.
Or even, I mean,
Rufflet. We're gonna put it below.
I like
Rufflet.
Poliwrath more than this guy. I don't know how I feel about Poliwrath.
Look, this might just be a generic bird, but Rufflet's a dumb looking bird.
So one above that.
But
Okay.
Rufflet can become. This is the final.
We don't factor that. We don't factor that in.
Rufflet's got a fun name, right?
Hmm?
What's it gonna do to your feathers? Rufflet. Pretty good.
Swellow's a
Pretty
great
good.
name. He's a swell fellow. Okay.
Swallow. All right, we got the area. You guys call.
I mean,
We're gonna
look,
stick it.
just to put it out there for the people, if there's anybody out there that likes Swallow, I would put this at least above Pidgeotto, who's at like 504 or something. Not above Pidgeot's, who's very high and deserves to be, but just to put that out there. We don't have to go that high, but I would put it higher.
We all know the list is flawed. It's I think I'd still personally say below Rufflet.
Below Rufflet.
Yeah.
Wow. It's disgusting.
For me, it's between Dewdong and Poliwrath. No, actually, I like Poliwrath more. I said I was gonna go below Poliwrath is where I go.
Well, I'm the only one that can type on the list, so unfortunately we're at a standstill. I'll just put it below Rufflet.
All right. Swallow, a new 620. I think we can understand where that name comes from.
He's a swell fellow.
That's exactly right.
I'm proud of all of us for not making any more jokes about the name.
Well, to be fair, I mean, that's just the animal's name that this is based off of.
Yeah, that's the only thing. That comes
There's
to mind.
nothing
Doesn't
weird
have to-
about the name Swallow.
Yeah, well, let's see. Can we get any higher or lower with Stunky?
God, I don't.
He's a stunker.
We all wanted a skunk Pokemon, right?
No.
It's a skunk Pokemon, so obviously, I think it smells bad, and its face looks like a butt.
It really does.
I hate it. I hate it.
Yeah, its eyes are like caved into its face too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was thinking of those just like lines, like stripes beside its eyes, but
That's probably what it
Yeah.
is, but to me it looks like they're caved in.
well, yeah, because they use the same color for the ears, which obviously the ears are going to be caved in because that's how ears work.
Mhm.
So yeah, I see what you're saying there. But God, the face is just stupid. Just look at it.
Yeah, it's not good. So ignoring the face, oh, it's a skunk. I see.
Skunk, butt, smell.
Yeah, and I mean that's his whole thing too.
Yeah,
He's poison, dark, and he stinks. Any lore entries that say anything other than he stinks?
Let's double check, although I'm gonna doubt it. Sprays noxious fumes, sprays a nose curling stinky fluid, sprays a foul fluid. Nope, literally all.
I don't like thinking about how Pokemon smell. It's not something I want to
Smell and
definitely-
touch are two sensations I don't want with my Pokemon.
100%. Definitely a bottom halfer for me.
Yeah.
Probably around the area we're just looking at, if not even lower. Because this also has a very inspired design. It's just obviously a skunk. Now they changed it more than they changed most of the birds or whatever, but I don't like the changes they made. Like making its face a butt is not a fun change. And look how lazy those feet are. Just stick 3 claws on the end of a leg.
Yeah.
Lazy game.
Not doing anything for me.
Yeah, I mean, this is like in the 800s or 900s.
Yeah, I think this is pretty low. I like this
All
more
right.
than Pineco at 861.
You like it more than
Like
Pineco?
this
you said?
more than Pico?
I'm sorry. No, I like Pineco more. I'm
Okay.
sorry. My
I agree
brain
with
is fried.
Panpour at 873. You're not big Panpour fans here, huh? I like Panpour more than this guy.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I like Sobble way more than this guy. God, Sobble just got destroyed by you monsters. You
I
and
like
whoever our guest was.
Volibile. I like Volibile more than this guy. Volibile is the one with like a skull diaper, right? Like
Mhm.
everything.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
That's
got a look
cool.
on its
I like
face that says, "I left shit in here for you. Come change my diaper." So that's why we hate it.
This one's face also looks like it's gonna leave shit somewhere.
Yeah.
But not in the diaper, which is why this is worse.
Yeah, we're going way down.
Apple Pie Pokemon
Paris.
at 897. I like apple pie. I like thinking about the smell of apple pie more than thinking about the smell of a skunk.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true. What about Flapple? Is that also an apple thing?
Yeah, that's a flying apple
Yeah.
dragon. A flying apple.
Oh
basically.
yeah. Yeah, I know that guy. It's dumb, but more creative than the guy we're looking at.
Yep.
Yeah.
How about Perugly,
Ooh.
the ugly cat?
I'd rather have an ugly cat than a skunk.
Fair.
We are dropping Paris Press, however you say that, 918. I like that guy more than this guy.
Yeah.
Like that guy
Muck
more.
at 932.
Now there's two equally smelly Pokemon.
I like Muck more. I can look at Muck and not think about it smell. Like I understand it's like it's sewage, it's garbage, it smells, but like it's also just like a goopy mess. Like it's not as in your face with the smell, in my opinion.
Yeah, and what's this guy's name backwards? Is it funny? Actually, yeah, it is Eek Nuts.
Nose Pass at 937. He's got a mustache. I like him more.
Does Nosepass have a mustache? I know
That might
Probopass
just be
does.
Probopass.
Oh, never mind. He sucks.
Gumi.
You
I
got
can go either way.
Nidorina and Nidorino. I like those more because again, they're more creative than what we're looking at here. I don't like this guy. I'm going way down. I don't know about you guys, but I haven't yet to find one where it's given me pause to be like, ooh, do I want to put it below that? Better than Jinx though. Nothing's gonna dethrone Jinx where she's at.
Oh man.
It's in the thousands. Dunsparce.
Is this worse than Bruxish, which is 994?
No.
Who's
It's not worse
holding
than
the?
Amherst.
Not worse. Okay.
But I could put it right there. I could put it below Impidimp, honestly. I really don't like Impidimp, but this is just a skunk. I mean,
Nobody likes skunks.
New 993 Stunky.
Ooh.
I mean, it's really Game Freak's fault for doing this to you. If you didn't make these decisions in life, you're born this way, and it's just unfortunate. So hopefully we can.
I'm scared to ask this. I'm scared to Google this. This thing always has its tail raised every time I see it. Have we ever seen this thing from behind?
Yeah. I mean, in the games.
Yeah, I guess what Sprite would be from behind.
There's no butthole.
Thank God. I don't know if I would like it more or less. I'm just fully leaning into it.
But you know what? I think we got a better mon on the horizon because next up is Scyther.
Yeah.
There we go.
Man, bug types are so rad. There's so much variety in the bug type. I love it.
Good bug
This
type.
guy is dope. Like it's very clearly based on and inspired by bugs, but you don't look at it and go, "Oh yeah, that's a I don't know, grasshopper or beetle or whatever." You don't look at any specific bug. Like they took the idea of what makes a bug and their shells and their limbs and wings and made something totally new with it, and it looks awesome. I love this thing.
Yeah, super cool.
Yeah, he's super cool. One of the best Gen 1ers, I'd say. Is it that this is how little I know about bugs? Is it based on a grasshopper or praying mantis, or is it like a mix between them?
I would say more mantis, but it's definitely.
Well, I was thinking locust because like don't locusts eat crops, eat stuff, and this guy like chops down
maybe?
grass. I think, but the fact that there's not one obvious, bug that it's based on, I think works to its benefit.
Yeah, no, I would agree. And even you know what? I think one of the things that helps a lot is the head is like a little less bug and a little more like lizard almost.
I mean, yeah, that's Charizard's head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that allows for more personality than a lot of the insect heads, I think. Especially like Gen 1 designs.
So big fans of Sizer, obviously. Sizer, you guys have at 36. Mega Sizer shortly below that, 38. So we like Sizer more than Scyther. Is that I'm gonna assume that based on you guys.
Yeah.
I can agree with that. It's got the cool color, the pinchers are pretty cool, but freaking scythes for arms is pretty damn cool.
True. I think this guy can take Gliscor out of the bouncer spot. Not saying at 100, he can be higher than that.
Yeah, I'm thinking top 100. Yeah.
Yeah. I think this gets into the club for sure.
He's bounced into the club, as you do. Bounce to the club.
Yeah. Of course. Bounce right in.
All right, so let's throw some popular. Snorlax at 46. First impression. Better or worse than Snorlax?
Immediately, I think I say I like Snorlax better. But I think the even better comparison is right above that. Kabutops, another Scythe Arm Gen 1 Pokemon.
It is funny how similar they are. Kabutops doesn't look as cool, but I do like the lore around Kabutops. Pretty close for me. Slowking, I'm not a very big fan of. Metagross is cool. I think we might have found the area, but the exact place we're going to slide it in. All right, Charizard at 41. This guy's not going above Charizard.
I'd stay below Corviknight as well.
Yeah.
Metagross I like. I can see Metagross being above. Slowking is the first one where I'm like, I don't like Slowking more than Scyther. That's me speaking. How about you guys feel about that?
I could go either way.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they're just lower than I would personally put them, but I look at Malamar, who I really like, and I like Scyther slightly less. And like Mismagius, I like Scyther slightly less, but those are personal preference things, and also those are just a little lower than I would put them to begin with.
Well, how do each of you feel about the Kabutops comparison?
I think I like Kabutops slightly more. So I would either go below Kabutops or below Snorlax. I'm fine above Dragonite.
I can't look at Snorlax without also thinking of the sweetheart of podcasting himself, Bob Buell. And it makes me sad to put him above Snorlax for that reason. So between Snorlax and Dragonite?
I'm okay with it. New 47, breaking the top 50.
Cutting down the competition.
Yeah. And a lot of other things accidentally in the way. Definitely going to have some Edward Scissorhands moments with this Pokemon. Just in Japan, this Pokemon is just known as Strike.
That's pretty cool. I'm surprised. This is Gen 1, right, Scyther?
Mhm.
I'm surprised. You look at all the Pokemon Strike, you would think fighting type, right? You would think
Mm.
Machop or something like that would
Yeah.
be Strike, but it's a cool name. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, that conveys the Pokemon.
Does its English name origins mention any specific insects? Obviously, it's Scythe Arms is where Scythe comes from.
Maybe a combination of scythe, and the suffix something that does an action.
Oh, he scythes things.
One
I see.
who scythes.
There's one who scythes, which is honestly very cool. I kind of like
Pretty
that
epic.
idea. Yep. All right. Well, next up we've got Anorith.
Hey, we like those bug types. No, he's not great.
I'm gonna eat my words there. What is? I've seen this guy before. I think I know from Pokemon Go. I'm trying to remember the evolutions. Are they going for a Native American thing? With the? Are they doing a headdress thing?
Armaldo is the evolution, a little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit.
It's like going down its back, right? I'm looking. Oh yeah, along the sides.
Yeah, around the neck. Yeah.
See, now the problem with this Pokemon and with Armaldo is that they could just cut off those stupid eyes on the side, and it could have cool red eyes right there. But no, its eyes are like these dumb, protruding, awful things.
Yeah. It would look
Yeah.
so much cooler if there's red. It'd be a huge improvement. But that's not the design they went with. I don't know. I think a good design, you should look at it and immediately get how it works. And I'm having trouble getting this thing. Like, are those feathers decorative? Are they feathers? Are they legs? Is it a tail? Is this a fish? Does it swim? Are those arms up front? Does it have any other legs? Why are those eyes out there like that? This thing clearly can't blink, right? It's got no eyelids. It's just these eyeballs hanging out there. Why give them those red marks if they're not actually eyes?
And what are they?
It's
Does it say
a
in any
whale
lore?
thing. Like, it's supposed to confuse predators. It's
That would make sense.
not working for me.
Also, we need to decide if they are going for a Native American thing, because I feel like that really pushes it down the list. Because
I really don't like that.
It must be offensive.
So it's like a oh no. It hides among rocks on the sea floor to catch prey. I don't know how much red is going to help you do that. That bright, vivid red.
So it is. So it's like a fish. Because I'm looking at I'm looking at Armaldo, and that does not look like a. Does it come out of? Is it amphibious? I guess does it come out of
rock.
water once it
It's
evolves?
bug, so it's weak against.
Because
water.
the Pokemon card for Armaldo, he's in the desert. So
yeah,
or in the water.
But it says it resembles a mantis shrimp.
No, it doesn't. Still lying.
Yeah, but it's a fossil, so maybe mantis shrimps.
Those eyes are very
times.
shrimp-like. That is, just have shrimp-like eyes, but definitely bottom halfer for me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think we have Armaldo on the list. I assume it's not high. So it was a 637.
Okay, I don't like Armaldo, but I like it more than this thing.
Yeah.
Skorupi 688. I like this less.
Oh, I went down a little bit. I'm looking at Lotad at 805.
Like this less.
Goldeen at 816. I like Goldeen more.
Okay.
All right, Exploud. Yeah, if I say it right. Exploud.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think we're starting to get into the ballpark because that's also it's a very dumb Pokemon. I'm not a big fan of that one either.
It is dumb.
I feel very similarly about the dumb level of those two. Slugma I like more than this because at least Slugma you look at it and you get it. Like, oh yeah, it's a slug.
Yeah.
And we just had the best jokes imaginable on that episode when we ranked Slug.
Quillfish at 841. I feel like it's similar.
I like it more than Quillfish.
Drowsy, I'm not a big fan of. Wishcash, I don't really like. But I think I like Wishcash more than this guy. Uninspired, but this one is just I just don't like this.
Yeah, I like it below Drowsy, above Quillfish.
And the Native American, it's not like Jinx level, but it's one thing to base your Pokemon on a mime, on a profession, but to base it on a group of people, is just not a good idea.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, the thing with this one specifically is like, I can't tell if that's even what they're going for. If it's just like feathers are cool on a scorpion thing, I guess. I don't know.
But when you see feathers that aren't on a bird, you assume they didn't grow those feathers. You assume they're decorating
Yeah.
themselves with feathers.
Yeah.
Especially in these colors, these are like very generic. Like we're trying to do Native American culture. So yeah, right there, Drowsy and Quillfish.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. A new 841. It seems about right.
Where does this name come from? I genuinely don't know.
You're going to make me say some really scientific names. Anarith, maybe a combination of Anomalacaris, anorthosite, and the suffix lith, which is just the suffix for, and I have to say this this way, rock and stone. Yeah, so they went very scientific, which is fine, but is not necessarily decipherable unless you're a geologist.
Not helping the cool factor of this at all.
No, not at all. It's going more for the nerd factor, which those eyes really lean into. Something about those big eyes. But that's all right. We already ranked him. He got what he deserved at 841. Next up, we've got Hisuian Electrode.
Very cool. It's kind of dumb, but also very cool. Tell me about Hisuian. Is that the Pokemon Legends?
Yeah, that's Legends Arceus.
Okay.
So that's ancient Gen 4.
So like instead of being, well, okay. So Electrodes are based on a Pokeball. Clearly, design wise, are the Pokeballs in Arceus wooden? Do they look like this?
Yeah,
So
you can craft them.
So it's based on a ancient Pokeball. I like it. It's cool. Well, how do y'all feel?
I think I like Hisui and Voltorb a little bit more. There's a little bit more definition, and the facial expression is less aggressive. Because a regular Electrode's facial expression isn't too aggressive. This is very extremely pissed off.
I think normal Electrode seems pretty pissed off.
Not here on Bulbapedia. He looks like snarky, not pissed off. Yeah.
I like that his eyes, like the pupils, like drilled into his head.
That's probably why he's pissed off. He had a drill bit put into his head.
The woodpecker gave him eyes. Now he sees how awful the world is. All right, you guys have regular Electrode at 889. Very simple. Is this cooler than a regular Electrode?
I do think I put this above regular Electrode just because it has a little bit more design to it. You know, there's some texture and there's some definition, where Electrode is just a circle with a mouth and eyeballs.
Sure. And you said below Hisui and Voltorb, which is at 726.
Okay.
I'm happy to put him below Carkol at 728. Literally a cart of coal.
Yep.
The face.
I like how this guy's like shiny, like polished wood.
Yeah.
Like a marble, kind of, maybe.
Someone put the extra effort in, you know, they brought the linseed oil out and they polished it up real nice. Yeah.
So you're saying above Carkol?
Below Carkol.
Below Carkol? Okay.
Loudred.
Loudred, I already said I don't really like. I like it more than Loudred. I like it more than Tepig.
Yeah.
Right below
this is fine
Carkol?
with me. Yeah. I like it.
Right.
Easy peasy. 729, Hisui and Electrode. I think we know where the name comes from.
Electric probe. Yes.
I don't want this thing probing me. You know what they tend to do? They tend to explode, Chris.
Some people are into that, man.
Maybe we found out why he's so angry. People are putting him on a string. All right, let's move on.
Him and his 4 brothers. Next up, we've got Darmanitan. Finally, the fabled fire poop Pokemon older brother.
That's true. We ranked fire poop so long ago. I wonder if this guy has any fire poop lore. Which this guy does have 2 forms: Zen form and normal form.
Wow, they look so different. What's the lore behind the 2 forms?
Ryan will tell us. I don't remember.
So with Zen form, it goes into meditation, it calms raging spirits, and hones its psychic abilities. In its regular mode, hot-blooded Pokemon goes for punches and obliterating capable of obliterating a dump truck. And
so
fire.
specific.
Yeah. Not other kinds of trucks, though, just dump trucks.
Just dump truck.
And fire that can reach 2,500 degrees Fahrenheit.
So how, gameplay wise, how does it switch forms? Does it switch forms, or is it you catch one or the other?
To change forms during battle depending on ability and current HP.
I kind of dig the lore. I like the Zen form. I like the idea of it calming itself down. Design wise, looking at this fire version, I'm a little turned off by how angular a lot of stuff is and those goofy eyes. I'm kind of wondering what the inspiration is for this look. It seems to be drawing an aesthetic from something specific that maybe I'm just not familiar with.
Yeah, if I remember right, it's like some kind of Japanese doll.
Okay. I like the fire eyebrows. Those are fun. I like some big eyebrows. And those are some big eyebrows. Are those like monkey-ish hands?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely some monkey influence.
Yeah, so I think the only place where skin is showing is like around the eyes, which is why they're a different color. It's the same color as his hands and feet.
So it's a mustache.
I guess it's technically a mustache, but it's like if you had a mustache that turned into your beard, but then also all of your facial hair. Or all your body hair, I should say.
I like it. A little weird. It's not.
It's all right.
Top half, in my opinion, on the list. It's not a. I feel like the bottom half is for boring and for weirdos, and I don't think this is boring, and I don't think it's weird in that kind of way.
Yeah, it's a good weird. Although, where's Darumaka hanging out these days?
468.
Okay.
Darumaka.
Where's Galarian Darmanitan?
Good question. Galarian Darumaka is just a little bit higher at 459.
So Darmanitan's 176? Holy crap.
This evolves from Darumaka, I guess?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you like
Darumaka has lore that people use his poop for hot hands.
Yeah.
In the winter.
Do you like this more or less than Darumaka? I think I like it more.
Yeah, I think I'd go more.
Darumaka is going for, as most first evolutions do, going for the cute factor. I don't think it scores very high on it. I don't think it's that cute. It's a little weird. This guy, you start going for the cool factor. I think it's got more cool points than Darumaka has cute points. So I think it's above.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Although I don't know that it reaches its Hisuian form at 176.
Galarian. Too
many regions. Yeah, Galarian.
I think I agree.
So somewhere in the middle.
I would go above Mime Jr. I can't. Why is Bulbasaur at 452? I don't know. It is what it is. I like Bulbasaur more than this guy. I like Growlithe more than this guy. So I wouldn't go above them personally. But Mime Jr., I don't care about. Monferno is just fine. For me, it's between Mime Jr. and Bulbasaur. Sound defense either of you?
No, I like that.
No, that's fine with me. I could go higher, but I forgot that Chris hates Bulbasaur and has trashed him down to the 400s.
And gotta protect him.
All right, Darmanitan, a new 453. Where does this name come from?
A daring man with a tan.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so it draws from Daruma doll, which are the dolls that these get some visual inspiration from, and orangutan, which is there's that monkey influence, that primate influence.
The things on his chest remind me of Mickey Mouse.
Yes.
Mickey Mouse.
Oh my god, totally. On the Zen form.
Okay.
Mickey Mouse
Yeah.
has those white ovals that I guess are buttons,
Uh-huh.
but they're just white ovals.
Wow. Isn't design so fun? Well, so that does it for our 10 random Pokemon. Chris, of course, gets to bring a Pokemon to rank. Who'd you bring with you tonight, Chris?
I actually have to Google the name again because I'm scared I'm going to get it wrong. Hang on.
brand new.
I am bringing, yes, a brand new. So I know you guys allow us to re-rank Pokemon that have been ranked before, but I wanted to do something that hadn't been on the show before, which, as we said in the beginning, is almost getting down to exclusively brand new Pokemon. Out of those brand new Pokemon, looking through them, the one that really caught my eye, both in design and name and lore, is gonna be Gimmighoul, which I believe is Pokedex entry 999 because its evolution we talked about before we started recording is Pokedex 1000.
Yeah. Crazy to think about.
Which might be, okay, so this is fun because also in the lore, to evolve this thing, you need 999 Gimmighoul coins. That's kind of fun. You need 999 coins to get the 1000th Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Some synergy there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's cool.
It's solid.
This guy's got two different forms here: the chest form and the, what do I call it, roaming form.
Roaming form, yeah.
Which is kind of silly because usually two different forms means there's like something physically different about him. That chest, if I read the lore correctly, if I'm interpreting this right, the chest is not part of him. He's just inside a chest, right?
So yeah, I mean, that's definitely the way the lore reads to me. But when you fight this thing in chest form, because you can't fight it in roaming form, you just find them and they give you a coin and then they run away. When you fight it in chest form, like the chest is moving like it's alive, very much.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, because this was a form that we saw before the game came out, is that right, Chris?
Yeah, they teased it in Pokemon Go.
That's right. I saw this and I was like, a mimic Pokemon? That's going to be awesome. That's super cool idea. Which I know is Voltorb, but like a classic fantasy mimic, in a chest that is a creature. But yeah, it's much more. It's the Flapple thing all over again. Or is the worm the Pokemon and it's just inside a regular apple, or is this chest also part of this Pokemon?
Okay, so I don't like when inorganic things are somehow part of the Pokemon, and I think this one is getting close to that line, but I don't think it crosses it. I think it's safe to say the chest is not part of him. Now I understand he might be manipulating during battle, but I think it's just that. I think it's him manipulating a chest and his coin and his treasure. He obviously has some power connected with these coins, which allow him, these abilities. So
Yeah,
he doesn't cross that weird line.
He is a ghost type, so he could just possess the chest.
Yeah, totally.
I like it a lot. I like that he's like Scrooge McDucking it in the coins, but there's nothing in the lore to really suggest that he's super like greedy. It's not like a stupid like capitalist thing. It's just he just likes coins for whatever reason. It's kind of the impression that I get. He's got one of those classic Pokédex entries where it's like, wow, this is actually terrifying. Reading his Scarlet one says, this Pokemon was born inside a treasure chest about 1,500 years ago. It sucks the life force out of scoundrels who try to steal the treasure. It kills people who try to steal the treasure. Like, it just casually says that. It's like a classic, like, Drifloon killing kids or whatever. Like, it's so casual with how terrifying these Pokemon can be if you really think about it. I think to talk about the design some more, you have the other version up here, right? The roaming version. I think that gives us a better view of like his body.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of talk about. It's super simple, but it's still memorable, fun, kind of stretchy Play-Doh Gumby like, but has these like angular alien type antenna. I don't know, like if you told me this was like This isn't necessarily a pro for the Pokemon, but if you told me this was like a mascot for a Bitcoin, like, I would believe you.
Get your Gimme coin today.
Yeah. Gimme Ghoul is fun. Gimme, like, give that to me. Ghoul, ghost type.
Yeah. Definitely a solid name. I don't hate this thing. This is up there, at least of the new gen Pokemon I've seen.
Yeah, I like it. It's one that I would probably never use because of the weird evolution, like the weird way you have to evolve it, and they're kind of obnoxious to find in the first place. The ones that I found are like on top of random towers.
Yeah. The best way to describe the coins for you, Chris, is like think of the feathers in Assassin's Creed 2.
It is not quite that bad, I would say, because you can find these little guys all over the place, and they'll give you 1 coin each. But also, just killing a Gimme Ghoul will give you, like, I've gotten up to 50 from killing a Gimme Ghoul, like a high level one.
Killing a Gimme Ghoul, making it come on.
I do.
Sighting.
So when they announced this thing, they released like a little animated trailer that had a cute kind of papercraft art style, where Gimme Ghoul was like manipulating a small girl into saving all her money in its chest, and then he was stealing it, which is a fun idea.
That's cool.
And then a couple more entries, because this guy's announcement was kind of a big deal. This was when they were still like slowly teasing Pokemon, so they had a ton of lore on it. So a couple more non-official entries, I guess. Gimme Ghoul hides inside sturdy treasure chests. While this provides them a solid defense, the treasure chest's weight causes Gimme Ghoul to move slowly, making travel difficult. Not uncommon for chest form Gimme Ghoul to be mistaken for an antique and taken home or sold to an antique store. And then when Gimme Ghoul senses a person or Pokemon draw near, it ambushes them. It then uses ghost energy to control its target, forcing them to collect coins. Because it often hides in warehouses, shop corners, and other places people and Pokemon don't frequent, it tends to keep persistent control of those it does manage to encounter. It takes over people's lives and makes them collect money for it.
But he's so cute.
Yeah, I like it.
Is that just what a kid does? They're so cute, but they take over your life and you've got to give them money.
That's exactly right.
Chris, you like this. Roaming form Gimme Ghoul is tied with Sinistea as the smallest ghost type Pokemon.
Tied. Interesting. If he straightened his antenna, he would probably he'd be taller. If he lowered his antenna all the way, he might be taller. All right. So let's look way up here. Is he cracking the top 100? Golurk, also a ghost type, right? We talked about him earlier.
It's true.
Ghost Golem.
Yep.
I like him more, but immediately after that, at 99, you have Tyranitar, which that is tough for me because Tyranitar is pretty dang cool.
Tyranitar's top.
But also 97 is Lickitung, which I'm not a fan of Lickitung.
Who was that again that brought that on?
Yeah, how did that happen?
It was somebody's Pokemon. They were very passionate about it.
I remember that much.
It was James, right?
That's right. It was Smithy. Yep. That's right. I remember his argument was please.
Basically. And you said yes, put it above Tyranitar. Those were your words. I'm not opposed to it being in the top 100. I mean, you brought it up, I think it was before we started recording, but like the new Pokemon have a harder way to go because they don't have nostalgia tied to them. It is harder to get up into those top spots.
Yeah. But this guy's so cool. Look at him. Which I'm learning. I knew nothing about this Pokemon mere hours ago, but everything I've learned about him, I like. Every design, every lore, no red flags, all very cool.
A lot of red flags if you want one in your life.
Yeah.
But...
Do you feel like you need to get coins, Chris? Are you under the?
This is my new favorite Pokemon. I'm gonna put a coin in a chest in the corner here. I feel an impulse to add coins to it. I don't know. I like him. This is a compare though, this area on the list, because like Entei at 88, I like Entei a lot.
What do you guys think about Mimikyu, another ghost
I like
with
this-
good lore?
I like this guy more than Mimikyu. Well, at least from a design standpoint. I get the lore maybe it's questionable, but I don't like Mimikyu's design all that much. Cubone right below Mimikyu, I do like though. This is tough.
Yeah. Cubone I was looking at, like dead parents
Yeah.
versus
I mean, most things in the top 100 at this point is either it was somebody's favorite who brought it on, and that's how it made it up here, or it has really great lore or really great backstory in terms of like the competitive scene, like Pachirisu.
Hang on. Let me look at Pachirisu. Is that how you say that?
Pachirisu.
Pachirisu.
It's just a cute squirrel. You will probably like this more. Pachirisu is on the list because it
Yeah.
completely crushed like Garchomps and these insanely powerful Pokemon at the World Championship, and it was really crazy and fun to watch.
How do you feel about between Cubone and Pachirisu? Like, if I'm trying to be objective about it, I might like this guy more than Cubone. But Cubone's an OG. I love the lore. I love design. There's a lot more built into my love for Cubone than this guy that I just met. But but that's
I could go right there.
And then Tyranitar will be guarding the top 100, which is a pretty cool spot for him to be in.
Yeah.
For now.
For the time being. Till something comes along and gets in the top 100, and then I cry because Tyranitar's out of the top 100.
It's an uphill battle. I mean, I know that we're thinking about doing it with this guy, but it's going to be an uphill battle for Scarlet Violet guys to break the top 100.
Yeah. But you know what? There's been a lot of really good designs. There's a few things. I mean, especially there's been some very good names along with solid designs. Have you seen Lechonk?
I love the name. Let me look at this guy. Lachonk, I assume.
Lechonk.
Lechonk. Lechonk.
Lechonk.
Okay, so you told me there's been a lot of good designs, and the first thing you think of is to show me this guy.
He's so cute.
It's a fat pig that looks like he's crying.
Crying bacon grease.
Oh wait, now I love him. That's cool. Is that really what that is? That's
I mean, it doesn't
grease?
look like tears, right? It looks way more like fat grease.
I like it more than the other pig, Swinub. I like it more than Tepig. It's the best pig design I've seen.
Fido.
It's a great name.
Oh, don't keep showing them food dogs.
Yeah.
Food animals.
Oh, Fido, like
yeah.
Okay, like
It's
dough.
clever.
It's a very plump generation. I see.
All right. Well, give me Ghoul at 94. We're gonna have
Give me Ghoul, give me fire, give me that which I desire. Boom. Sorry,
had to get it in. We'll have to get to Lechonk and Fido in another couple weeks here once we've got our Gen 9 lists made up. But yeah, that's it for our Pokemon tonight. Chris, thanks so much for joining us.
You're welcome. Yeah, thanks for having me. This is such a fun concept for a show you guys have here. I love coming on, love talking these Pokemon, even though I'm getting introduced to them almost always as we go, because I don't know them all. That's kind of a fun way to look at Pokemon, I think.
Yeah, and I think there is something to be said for, like, I was a fan a while ago. I haven't played in a long time, so you have this nostalgia for the series overall. You understand what a Pokemon looks like. You understand what bad Pokemon look like. You understand what good Pokemon look like, and then just getting these first blush impressions on the new ones.
And it's just wild to me how this. I remember when Pokemon came out. I remember buying the first generation games. I remember the cards on the playground. And, I talked about my daughter playing the games earlier. Pokemon is still a thing. It's still a huge thing. She loves Pikachu. And I was a kid when Pikachu hit the scene, it's just permanently part of culture, and there's no signs that it's going away anytime soon. Like it's just,
Nope.
It's wild. It's one of this is a very unique property in that way.
Yep, and it's here to stay. Absolutely. Well, anything to plug, Chris?
Well, I've got this podcast called Best of the Rest. It's a movie podcast. Every week we take a second look at a movie that was poorly received upon release, but we challenge ourselves to only say nice things about it. So we just look for the positives in movies that other people maybe say aren't that great. We do a new theme every month. We're heading into December, and it's going to be all Christmas movies, poorly received Christmas movies. So we'll be talking about Home Alone 2, the inferior sequel to Home Alone, most would say. Jingle All the Way, the Arnold Schwarzenegger classic, of course. So we are only gonna say nice things about these movies. What genuinely works in these movies.
People have bad things to say about Jingle All the Way.
Not this guy. Not me. I mean, if you look at those reviews, it's pretty panned, pretty awful from the get-go, but it is a lot of fun. November was 007 month. We looked at the least popular movie from each Bond actor throughout the eras. We did a video game month. We had a lot of comic book movies in our backlog. It's we're quickly approaching episode 100, so there's plenty of movies and episodes to go back through. If you've never listened before, I'd appreciate it if you checked us out anywhere you get your podcasts. Best of the Rest.
Yeah, it is a fun show, and you know what? Join the Discord and come in for movie nights.
Oh yeah, you were just with us watching Austin Powers. This was the movie we watched for 007 month, the ultimate Austin Powers parody or James Bond parody. Yeah,
can you imagine a parody of the parody?
I think you just revert back to James Bond at that point. That last Pierce Brosnan movie that we talked about, Tomorrow, Die Another Day. It is as pun filled as Austin Powers. It gets pretty wacky. So. It's hard to tell where the parody is sometimes with that series.
Yeah, well, definitely. Everyone check out Best of the Rest. It is a solid time. Chris, do we have anything to plug?
Yeah, check us out on Twitch, twitch.tv/friendlyfirepod. We are streaming our D&D sessions when we can get them in. You know how D&D scheduling goes. I think as we're recording this, Tyler and Tom are streaming, what are they calling it? Growlers in Gotham? They're streaming Wasted.
That's it.
They're getting drunk. They're playing Gotham Knights. Yeah, check us out there.
Yeah. And no hard dates planned for it yet, but keep your eyes peeled for our soon-to-be coming Game of the Year and Music of the Year podcasts. Those are always a fun time talking about this last 12 months in gaming. There's a lot of good contenders for Game of the Year this year. Although I think it's really going to be one of two things, most likely.
Yeah, for number 1 and 2, and this has been an insane year for games. There's probably like 25 to 30 that I've played this year that I could put in my top 10. I need to choose.
But it's clearly Bayonetta 3, right? I mean, that's what we're all thinking as number 1. It just took the world by storm.
Yeah.
Everyone's talking about it. Yeah.
They're talking about it. All right. All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us as we continue finalizing the most important decision of our lives. We hope you are well until we reconvene next week. And remember, not all Pokemon are great.
But all Pokemon have greatness.
Bye-bye, folks.
Gotta rank 'em all, Pokemon.